Welcome to the Environmental Studies lesson on environmental legislation. By the end of the video, you will learn about current status legislations on biodiversity, issues in enforcement, and institutional arrangement for monitoring and enforcement. Environmental legislation, in simple terms, refers to laws and regulations created by governments to safeguard the environment. As our civilization advanced, our actions started harming nature. Pollution from industries and vehicles, deforestation, and wildlife exploitation became major concerns. Now, let's focus on national environmental legislation, particularly in India. The Constitution was amended in 1976 to include environmental protection as a fundamental duty. Article 51A(g) emphasizes the duty of every citizen to protect and improve the natural environment. Key legislation includes the Water, Protection and Control of Pollution Act, 1974, which empowers state boards to regulate and enforce effluent standards, control sewage, and advise on industry locations. Moving on to air pollution, the Air, Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, 1981, addresses the prevention, control, and reduction of air pollution. It mandates industries in designated areas to obtain permits from state boards. Our forests and wildlife need protection too. The Wildlife Protection Act, 1972, and the Forest Conservation Act, 1980, play vital roles. The Wildlife Act focuses on conserving wildlife and establishing sanctuaries and national parks. India, as one of the biodiversity-rich nations, enacted the Biodiversity Act, 2000, to conserve and regulate access to plant and animal genetic resources. It aims to prevent biopiracy and protect traditional knowledge. Now, let's explore the Environment Protection Act of 1986. This act empowers the central government to protect and improve the environment, set environmental quality standards, and regulate hazardous substances. To ensure justice, the National Environmental Tribunal Act of 1995 and the National Green Tribunal Act, 2010, were established. These bodies address environmental damage and provide compensation to victims. Moving on to the international stage, environmental problems often have global repercussions. International agreements are crucial. These conventions, like the Basel Convention, Rotterdam Convention, and Stockholm Convention, aim to address global environmental issues collectively. In 1992, the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro emphasized sustainable development, leading to Agenda 21. It set goals to eradicate poverty, improve living conditions, and protect the environment. Back in 1985, the nations of the world gathered in Vienna under the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, to address this issue. They established the Convention for the Protection of the Ozone Layer. This convention was a promise to protect the ozone layer and work together to understand its importance. To fulfill the objectives of the Vienna Convention, they introduced the Montreal Protocol in 1987. This protocol aimed to reduce and eventually eliminate the emission of man-made ozone-depleting substances. Now, let's shift our focus to conventions on climate change. In 1992, at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development in Rio de Janeiro, the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, was unveiled. This treaty committed signatory countries to limit human-induced greenhouse gas emissions. To reinforce these commitments, the Kyoto Protocol was established in 1997. It required nations, both developed and developing, to take various steps to address climate change, from improving emission data to promoting clean energy research. Now, let's explore conventions on biological diversity. CBD aims to conserve and sustainably use biodiversity. It encourages scientific cooperation, protected areas, and respecting traditional knowledge. In 2000, the Cartagena Biosafety Protocol was adopted to address risks associated with cross-border trade of genetically modified organisms. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, established in 1982, provides a universal legal framework for marine resource management and conservation. Key features include coastal state sovereignty over territorial seas, exclusive economic zones, and freedom of navigation in international waters. Finally, let's explore the institutions responsible for monitoring and enforcing environmental laws. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change oversees environmental policies. The Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB, plays a crucial role in preventing and controlling water and air pollution. That's all. We wrap up this informative lesson. For additional information on this lesson, please look at the content below the video in the online course. To get a list of the important questions and their answers for this lesson, please refer to the guidebook by our publications provided to you with this course for free. It shows you a list of all the questions that have the highest chance of coming in your next exams based on research carried out on previous year question papers. All the best, and I'll see you in the next lesson.